Good evening and welcome to our council meeting for Wednesday, June the 5th. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. I wanted to welcome staff and members of council as well and advise those who are watching on live stream, thank you for being here with us tonight. I want you to know that this meeting is being audio and video recorded and live streamed on the Town of Innisfil's YouTube channel and shall form part of the record, which will be retained in accordance with the town's retention bylaw. And for more information on that bylaw, you can see the clerk's office. I'd also like to acknowledge that the town of Innisfil is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history. The town also acknowledges that this land is the traditional territories of the First Peoples of Turtle Island. It is shared between the Anishinaabe peoples of Beausoleil First Nation, the Chippewas of Rama First Nation, and the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation, and we thank them for generations of stewardship. This meeting place is still home to many Indigenous people, and as settlers, we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. The town acknowledges the forced sacrifices that are the foundation of Canadian society today. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit. So the first item on our agenda is open forum. We have one item on open, we actually have 3 people sign up, but I believe the second 2 are a delegation as opposed to open forum. But we do have Bruce Barber from Gateway as and to speak to item C1. Mr. Barber, whenever you're ready, you get 2 minutes at the microphone. Welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship, and it's Bruce Barber from Great Canadian Gaming.
My apologies.
No problem. For anybody that doesn't know me, I have been with Great Canadian since we moved to Ontario in 2005. So I've been at Georgian for, I guess, over 20 years or close to 20 years now. So Great Canadian Entertainment, as the operator of Georgian Downs, does respect the fact that you will be making a decision regarding Gateway's aspiration to develop another casino within Innisfil. However, in order for the town to make a fully informed decision, we feel it is our responsibility to share with you the implication should Gateway choose to move to another location. Simply put, if Gateway ultimately choose to move casino operations from Georgian Downs, it will mean the end of horse racing in the current location, as well as the closure of the facility and the loss thereof of the jobs and the economic impact of racing within the industry, within the Innisfil area, including the $2.5 million in purses that go to the horse people right now. And I also feel I have to point out that a number of outlets have been, websites, et cetera, have been stating that racing would stay here in Innisfil until 2028. That is not a fact. The reality of it is we're not sure where it will go after this year, but there is no contract with Ontario, the Ontario government via OR after 2026. So just so that everybody's aware, there is no guarantee that there's racing to 2028. Based on the unique nature of the property itself and the facilities, there simply is not another viable commercial use for this property for us. So I thought tonight I'd just like to let you folks know that, and I appreciate the time that you've given me tonight to speak. And we are available to speak at any time when you need to see us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barber from Great Canadian. So that is the end of open forum. So the next item will be 3.1, which is the approval of the agenda. And we do have a one delegation request that has been added to this agenda by Mr. Sebastian Corbeau and Ms. Rose Corbeau when that item comes up. And could I have a mover and a seconder, please, to approve the agenda as amended? Councillor Zanella and Councillor Richardson, all those in favor? That is carried. Next is item 4. Item 4 is the opportunity for members of council to disclose any pecuniary or conflict of interest they might have on any items on tonight's agenda. Seeing no one raising their hand at this time, if one becomes apparent to you during the conversations this evening, please make it known at that time. Next, we'll go to item 5. We have presentations, 2 very exciting presentations we've been looking forward to. Item number 5.1 is the Pitch-In Committee and the awarding of the Golden Broom. So Pitch-In Committee, whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Your Worship, Deputy Mayor, members of council, staff, and the wonderful Innisfil public. My name is Al Gilchrist, and tonight I am pleased to share the following update regarding the 2024 Pitch-In Annual Cleanup Event. Your Pitch-In Working Group, Ann Kell, Sue Bennett, Carol Griffith, myself, Kim Creamer from Clerk Services, and Greg Henry of Fire Services wish to thank everyone who participated in the 2024 Pitch-In Cleanup Day on Saturday, May the 11th. And we'd just like to add, Kim Creamer has been involved in this for many, many, many years. And Kim is the driving force behind this. And she was, without her help, I don't know if Pitch-In would be so successful. So from our committee to Kim, we just want to say thank you very much. We were pleased to have 275 online registrations this year. Those who registered could pick up cleaning kits from April the 22nd through May the 11th at the Town Hall, Lakeshore, Cookstown, and Stroud Libraries, and the Alcona and Lefroy fire stations on May the 11th from 9 to 11 a.m. New this year, Pitch-In joined the Great Global Cleanup, a movement driven by EarthDay.org to reduce plastic pollution worldwide as part of their 2024 campaign, Planet vs. Plastics. And I'll turn it over to Ann.
Thanks, Al. We'd like to thank Daniela Sorodio and the other communications and community engagement coordinators for posting articles through the town's social media channels, also for promoting on Curbex signs and town boundary signs, and for capturing the day's activities for us. We'd also like to extend our appreciation to library staff and the volunteer firefighters who assisted us by handing out cleaning kits. And now, for the Debbie Mills Civic Pride Award, which recognizes the dedication of individuals in our community who have taken it upon themselves to maintain and clean Innisfil all year round. This award started in 2013 by recognizing Ms. Mills for her dedication to her community, and the Pitch-In Working Group has been honored to recognize other notable members of the community for their passion in keeping Innisfil beautiful. We're happy tonight to present Ian Mitchell with this award. Ian is a longtime resident of Innisfil and also a member of the Innisfil Fire and Rescue Services, and he's participated in Pitch-In for many years. You'll see him not only in his area, but also all over cleaning up debris along the roadways. Ian takes pride in his community and spends many hours keeping Innisfil beautiful. Thank you very much, Ian. And we'd like to invite Ian to come up.
Super, that's lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It was a surprise for sure. It's very nice. Thanks, Ian. Thanks so much very much. Take care. Good night. Take care.
Thanks.
Without our generous sponsor support and donations, this event would not be the success it is today. The committee extends its appreciation to the wonderful people of our community. To recognize them, a thank you ad was posted on the town's website and social media channels, and each sponsor received a written appreciation letter and a certificate. We were pleased to have the support of our Innisfil schools, who participated during the week of May 6 to 10, and with some eager students who took part in April as a result of the great weather. To support the hard work of our community volunteers, an appreciation barbecue was hosted at Centennial Park. Everyone who attended enjoyed a free lunch, refreshments, draw prizes, a nature walk, and library activities. We would be remiss if we did not extend our appreciation to our customer service team, who worked hand in hand with Operations Services, taking calls so that our amazing road crew could collect bags and debris that filled the 40-yard bin in the picture. None of this would have been possible without the teamwork of all involved. Thank you. And now for the Golden Broom Award, which is presented each year to the council member with the most volunteer participation in their ward. We are very excited to announce that Councillor Grace Constantine of Ward 2 is the 2024 Golden Broom Award winner. Congratulations, Councillor. Would you come forward for a picture, please?
Hold it up high, Grace, with pride.
The Pitch-In Working Group appreciates the support received by the community and our volunteers, staff, and council. We hope to see everyone next year for this great annual event on Saturday, May 10th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, and thanks to Al and Ann and Sue and Carol and Kim for years and years and years of dedication to this program. We always say we hope there's a day we don't need it. We hope there's a day that we don't need to pick up other people's litter, but until then, we are so very pleased to have you organize this event. And to Ian, congratulations, Ian, so well deserved, and thank you for that. And to Grace, I have to say, it's the beginner's luck. So we had Jennifer last year and we had Grace this year. I can tell you, I've been on this council for 29 years. I've never won the Golden Broom. So you guys consider yourself very fortunate. So thank you, everyone. And a mover and a seconder, please, to receive the presentation with thanks. Deputy Mayor Fowler and Councillor Ices, all those in favor? That is carried. Next, we have another really exciting presentation from our Youth Connects Committee. And I'm going to ask everybody to come forward. I think Shirley's going to do our introductions.
So good evening, Council and Innisfil community. The Innisfil Youth Connects Committee is made up of Innisfil residents in grade 8 to 12 with support of council, town staff, and community partners. Supported by our youth engagement strategy, the committee provides a link between youth in the community, council, and local community partners to promote youth initiatives, programs, and insights that enhance the quality of life, health, and well-being of Innisfil youth. Today, we have a few of our YCC members here to tell you a little bit more about the committee, objectives, progress, successes, and most importantly, celebrate with you their achievements. Please welcome the following members: Kira, Davina, Juana, Aisha, Jade, and Betty.
Next slide, please. Thank you. The Youth Connects Committee was started in 2017 as a way to give youth in Innisfil a safe place to voice their opinions and ideas on how our town can become a better place to grow up in. As a group, we strive to improve our community as well as the way that people view teenagers and preteens within our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Next slide. Who are we? We are the Youth Connects Committee, which is open to people ages 12 to 17 who are Innisfil residents. We're teen leaders who are friends, a community, kind, inclusive, and accepting. Being the youth representatives of Innisfil, we are also diverse, equal, and helpful. We utilize our creative minds, open-mindedness, and collaboration to give youth a voice.
Next slide, please. Let's meet the team. Next slide, please. Meet our team of YCC members. We're a diverse group of 20 individuals and we're growing. We all come from different backgrounds, ages, and experience. Each of us bring unique perspectives and talents to YCC.
We joined the YCC for a myriad of reasons. The entire team hopes to change the public's negative opinion of youth. The YCC is also a safe way to help community and meet kids our age and hopefully forge new friendships. The committee is also an excellent way to fulfill Ontario Secondary School Diploma volunteer requirements while making connections and eating delicious snacks at every meeting. Finally, I think that all of us can agree that making Innisfil more inclusive and fun for youth was one of the largest factors influencing our decisions to join.
Next slide, please. Next slide, please. YCC has had many achievements during its time, including the ones you'll see here. One in particular that we want to highlight is the diversity and inclusion artwork, which was designed by YCC members during Black History Month in 2021 and is still displayed at town and library spaces. This is especially important for YCC to show support for youth of all identities, especially in the light of some events of 2020. Next slide, please. More recently, we held a youth skate night at Innisfil Town Square, where youth were invited to skate and to enjoy live music from a local artist, pizza, and cookies. This event had a huge turnout, emphasizing the need for youth-focused events in Innisfil. Next slide, please.
Looking to the future and building on our current successes, YCC is looking forward to continuing youth outreach over the summer for the first time. It is important for YCC to continue over the summer and carry the momentum and keep youth engaged. Youth have more time over the summer to volunteer, and it allows us to work alongside the town to better the youth experience. Starting off with a summer kickoff, an outdoor movie, volunteering at neighborhood nights, and recruiting new members. Next slide, please.
I joined the YCC in grade 9, and since then, I've developed an invaluable set of practical skills that can apply to the real world and become more involved in my community. For example, I've developed my leadership skills and strengthened my ability to work in group settings. I even have become more of an advocate for myself and others because of it. It has also helped me by strengthening my university applications, highlighting my dedication and skills I've attained from it to help me get into programs, thus supporting me in my future.
Thank you. We appreciate your time and your efforts to support the youth of Innisfil. We're open to any questions that you may be looking for our members to answer for you today.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Questions or comments from members of council, please? Councillor Richardson.
I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation of a mom of 2 teen boys. I appreciate the programs that you are running and that you're offering. I don't see very many boys on the list. I know that boys are a little more timid, including my own 2 boys, but I hope that there are more boys that are into that group as well to get some more perspective. But great job, and I appreciate that you guys are doing that.
Thank you. Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Worship. I just want to say thank you very much for coming out tonight. I'm always impressed when students stand up and they speak so well, and you represented yourselves and your students in your school very well tonight. So congratulations, and very proud to see you here. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Fowler.
Thank you, Worship. It's always it bolsters the spirit to see our youth step up and try to be a part of the solution as opposed to part of the problem. So many kudos to all of you. I have a few questions, though, for anybody who wishes to join. How often do you meet, and roughly what location? Is it a set location, or does it move around?
So recently great question. We recently started meeting bi-weekly. We typically meet at the Lakeshore branch of the Innisfil Public Library in either the community room or one of the boardrooms. We are, with the frequency of neighborhood nights, beginning to meet at the location of neighborhood nights just for simplicity's sake. We have a meeting tomorrow at Leonard's Beach. As for how to get involved, at all of our events, we have a QR code with a Google form for prospective members to fill out. And we will, well, I guess we won't, but our lovely adults We'll reach out and give them all the information that new members need to know. Thank you.
Follow-up, Deputy?
Thank you, Worship. Oh, great, my mind just went blank. You said that the earliest age a person can join is 12? So we're talking pre-high school, someone could, if they're interested, get involved.
That's correct, yes. It does help, I guess, for your Ontario Secondary School diploma requirements. You can start volunteering toward those as early as the summer before 9th grade, when that can be signed in and sent into to your guidance office. So it's lovely to get involved as soon as possible for more community involvement towards your school and scholarships too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other questions? Councillor Drodge.
Thank you, Worship. So did I hear that right? So if you did join this committee, that you could get your volunteer hours for your high school? It's awesome. Thank you.
I wonder who has a daughter joining high school next year. I just wanted to thank you all for being here. I know council chambers can be pretty dry and dull, so I really appreciate you making it more exciting for everybody here this evening. I want to thank your support staff. I always hear wonderful things. You've got champions right there. Those ladies have got your back. So we're thrilled to be here, and if there are ways that we can do more for you, let us know what those are, because we also want to be here not to guide you from behind. So you lead the way and let us know what we can do to give you that little nudge whenever you need it. So thank you to Kira and Davina and Juana and Aisha and Jade and Betty. You all did yourselves proud tonight, and you all spoke so eloquently, and I just want to thank you so much for being here. And with that, we will ask for a mover and a seconder, please, that the presentation from the Youth Connects be received with thanks. Moved by Councillor Richardson, seconded by Councillor Waters. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. And please, I know if you want to watch the meeting, you're more than welcome to, but please don't feel like you have to stay till the end if you've got homework or better things to do. Next is item 6, and that is our delegations by members of the public. And we do have one delegation here this evening, and that is by Mr. Corbo and Mrs. Corbo on the staff report tonight regarding the commercial water taking permit. And whenever you're ready, please, and I will ask you to keep your comments around 10 minutes, if you could, please. And thank you, whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Dolan, councillors, and staff. My name is Sebastian Corbo, and I'm the president of Corbo Spring Water, Inc. On behalf of my sister, Rose Corbo, and my mother, Josepina Corbo, we are here to respond to the staff report dated June 5th, 2024. I'd just like to give you some background information about our property. Originally, we had a water taking permit of about 250,000 gallons per minute. This was in the late 90s. And we do have hydrogeological reports to show that there was no impact. If I can have Ida, a family friend, hand out our portfolio of all the information of the hydrogeological reports, environmental impact studies, analyses, so everyone has a hard copy of it. Thank you, Ida. Thank you so much. as I get into my discussion, I will tell the members of the council and the mayor and staff to locate the particular information that I want you to see. Anyhow, I'm going to continue speaking. Our pump tests were performed by a gentleman called Brian Beatty, who was from Beatty Friends and Associates. He's a world-renowned hydrogeologist, an extreme expert, and his data is 100% accurate. I'd like to bring up your attention to our latest hydrogeology report that was updated February 28, 2024 by Wilson and Associates, and it was done by our current hydrogeologist by the name of Jeffrey Rather. This report was sent to staff and forwarded to council prior to our May 22nd council meeting, which fully explains all the hydrogeological reports and every issue dealing with environmental impact studies. So a lot of the questions that were asked May 22nd were pretty much answered in the reports. I trust that all of you have read this information before. If not, you have it in front of you. I'd like to speak on behalf of the report from the staff dated June 5th on certain concerns. Primarily, there was two concerns. Section 15.3, groundwater recharge and discharge areas, and Section 15.6, commercial water taking. So basically, again, if you guys have a copy of 15.3 policy, should be in the folder. Oh. From the official plan. Objectives. There's a bunch of sections.
Go ahead, Mr. Corbo,
Okay, I'll go ahead
and
anyway.
we'll flip through.
Section 15.31 basically talks about significant groundwater recharge. So what I'd like to explain about our property, it's a self-replenishing, never-ending water source. Any output is automatically recharged. We did do pumping tests with the neighboring wells, and we did monitor their wells. There was absolutely no impact or changes in volumes on the neighboring wells. If I can have you pull out this chart, which is in the back of this folder, it basically shows, sorry, upside down, basically shows two neighboring wells that were monitored at 16 hours at 950,000 liters per day. And our neighbor, which is approximately 200 meters away, Tom Farr, across the street, it shows that there's actually no impact whatsoever on the neighboring wells and other watersheds. As well, we're not asking for a permit of 950,000 liters per day. We're asking for a permit of 400,000 liters per day, which is less than half the amount that we are asking for. Absolutely, there will be no environmental impact whatsoever. If we continue to section 15.3, which says major development, just to sum it up, we're not building any structural bottling facility on our plant. It's simply an open piece of land. There's a road, a sea can in there. Trucks are going to go in and out. There is absolutely going to be no construction, present or future. If we continue to section 15.3, talks about Lake Simcoe Region Conservation Authority has identified the sand and gravel deposit in the vicinity as a hydrogeologically significant area. Again, the existing ground will not be altered whatsoever. We are leaving the property in pristine condition. Section 15.34 continued. Talks about areas of potential groundwater discharge, maps of South Simcoe, this is not applicable to us, but again, talking about discharge, our property, our water aquifer is totally capped. There is absolutely no leaks, no discharge coming out from the property. Continuing to 15.35, the use of best management, low impact development. Basically, this all relates to development. To sum it up all for the next 4 or 5 sections, there's not going to be any development, structural buildings on this property, present or future. If we continue let's go to 15.6, commercial water taking. On the policies. Basically, in the first policy, trying to sum it up in a nutshell, it says it is recognized that the approval of all applications have to go in accordance with the Ministry of the Environment, all the regulations, and if we don't touch more than 50,000 liters, we have to apply for a permit. Basically, the first policy, if you look at our Beatty and Friends report, in the conclusions, I believe it's page 8 of this report. I will read it to you. In his summary and conclusions, it says, the pumping test results indicate that the pumping from PW2, PW3, which are the 2 wells on our property, will have no significant impact in other neighboring wells in the same aquifer. And also, there is an upward, and then the last paragraph on that page, there is an upward hydraulic gradient of the 2 wells and provide a high level of protection from all sources of surface contamination. So we will be protecting the environment as well. Basically, in summation, I would just like to say, with regards to the neighboring wells, which the closest one is 200 meters away, we've clearly shown that there is 0 impact through our pump tests, and it's all in our hydrogeological reports. There's no changes in their volumes of water, no changes in our aquifer or the neighboring watersheds. We're not asking for a permit for 950,000 liters per day, only 400,000, which is less than 50%, clearly stating that there will be no environmental impact whatsoever on the property or neighboring wells. There will be no construction on this property, present or future, and we will continue to monitor and protect this aquifer according to all Ministry of the Environment legislation and Township of Innisfil policies. In summation, basically what myself and my family and our company is asking for is a letter of the Township of Innisfil to support our future business, and I think we've proved that our company has surpassed all requirements whatsoever. Thank you for your time. I will now pass you to my sister for the remainder of the discussion. Her name is Rose Corbo, and she's the Vice President of our company. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, Your Worship, council members and staff. My name is Rose Corbo. I'm one of the owners and directors of Corbo Spring Water Incorporation. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family, and in particular my mother, Giuseppina Corbo. I am aware that the city has purchased a property with an aquifer at 7140 Tenside Road in Innisfil that is approximately 800 meters away from our property. I am excited to see all the construction and development in Innisfil. My concern is that the town of Innisfil is building a recreation center on a property that has an existing aquifer. How will your development affect my aquifer and our property? We have a huge concern regarding this issue. In terms of our aquifer having any impacts on neighboring wells, The hydrology report shows that after 16 hours of extensive pumping, there was no impact. That is zero impact on our neighboring well located 200 meters from our property. It is included in the folder tonight on the left side of the folder. We have the right to earn a living on a property that we have paid taxes on for over 50 years. And we will continue to be part of this wonderful community for another 50 years. To all your paid employees and residents, we assure you we have the utmost respect and love for every insect, every animal, every tree, and especially our aquifer on our property. We are law-abiding citizens, and we're definitely peaceful. With this said, I asked the staff and planning department for a meeting in which we can explain in detail our extensive hydrologist report. I understand you're busy dealing with city issues and possibly have not had time to read our report. However, there is a sense of urgency, and as I respect you, our Honorable Mayor, the council, and the staff for your time, I ask for the same respect in return, please. Included again in your kit that was handed out this evening, please take notice that all our surrounding neighbors have given us their blessing and consent in writing. It is again on the left side of the folder. We ask that the city of Innisfil will give us your consent and blessing as well in writing. In the end, we are all ordinary people trying to work together to create a better community, especially one in Innisfil. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Corbeau. Questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, thank you so much for the presentations. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Constantine.
Sorry, I would just like to know why was the permit lapse, the one you had before?
So our permit was elapsed because we had some terrible situations happen in the family. It was personal, my health as well, which I've thankfully been able to conquer it. And we've also had a loss in the family. And
2 losses.
you know, my grandmother used to say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So that's why we're here today, and we're hoping to get our permit again with all your blessing.
Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just curious, you mentioned that the water you're proposing to take won't be processed or bottled on site. Where would you take it to get further processed or bottled?
Well, once we get our permit, we will be selling it by the gallon, by the liter to bottling companies. And they will transport it to their facility off-site. We don't know where it's going to end up. But it won't be bottled on our property whatsoever. We're not going to build anything. We don't want to contaminate our property with a building or anything. We want it as pristine as it was 50 years ago when we purchased it.
I'm just curious whether there'd be opportunities for jobs
Absolutely.
if in Innisfil, if there was an opportunity to keep it here and bottle it or whatever it needs to do.
Well, if we'll be discussing with people, town or private investors, if they have the right zoning to build a bottling facility, jobs will be created. Those are part of our plans as well in the future. So we're definitely looking at helping out the employment.
Our number one concern is our community of Innisfil. I've loved this community since I was a child. And of course, if there's any type of work which we plan to have, it will be for sure for the residents and people of Innisfil. And hopefully we can work together on this.
Councillor Drodge.
Thank you, Your Worship. My question's around traffic. So I'm assuming you're going to have lots of trucks kind of coming in and out of there taking water. Have you done any kind of traffic study? Like, I haven't read the whole report yet, but has there been any traffic studies done?
Funny you would ask you would ask that. We were there about an hour ago, and if you look at Tenside Road, there's probably 100 cars in a minute, and there's probably about 4 tractor trailers every 3-4 seconds. 3-4 minutes. And I do have a video of it, which I took today. The road is well designed. You guys have made a brand new, beautiful road. Very, very strong. There's a lot of asphalt. I've been in the asphalt business for 40 years. I'm an expert, so it can withstand a lot of the weight and load restrictions. And you guys have taken down the signs, 5 ton per axle. So you've done a great job in the construction. So traffic is moving fantastic. Trucks are going to be coming in. They're going to be in there for 5-10 minutes to load up and leaving. So there's not going to be any impact on any traffic. We've designed, there's like a little roadway to get on the property, easy in, easy out.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, so we want to thank you both for your presentation. So this resolution will be to receive the presentation. The report is on our agenda tonight under item C2. So if you want to stay to hear what the debate that council may or may not have, then you're more than welcome to do that. But we'll be dealing with it at that point. So thank you. So a mover and a seconder, please, to receive the delegation. That's moved by Councillor Constantine, seconded by Councillor Drodge. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The next item is item number 7, which is our County Council, Municipal Association, or Conservation Authority Committee, any committee that you have been directed to attend by this council, if you have any updates on any of those committee meetings since our last meeting. Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to let everybody know that the IAAC will be going to Cookstown Central on Thursday 13th. So if anybody wants to join us there, it'd be great. And then we're going to Holly Cross the next week on Thursday the 20th. Then we get a little bit of a break. And I'm confirming with Ms. Kramer right now that we have 4 in October that we will be attending, which we could use a lot of help with. So, and by that time, we'll have hit all the Innisfil schools. Thanks.
That's great of the Accessibility Committee. Thank you. Any other committees? Deputy Mayor Fowler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Last meeting, there was an item that was brought up under the County Council Municipal Associations regarding the organics collection. Now, what we do in this particular council chamber is when we go into committee of the whole, we vote on certain items and then we confirm it the same night. County Council does not do that. County Council has 2 separate meetings. We have the confirming bylaws that come in initially, and then we go into committee of the whole where we discuss issues. At the meeting this past County Council, the organics waste was brought up again by one of the other mayors of another town, and there was a hefty debate on it. And when, instead of confirming it, it was pulled and it was defeated. So at this moment in time, there is nothing really to be worried about moving forward with regards to the organics. It's being put back to staff to come back with different ideas. That being said, the Heritage Committee has been very active. We have some good news in regards to the provincial Bill 23. We have received confirmation that they have extended the deadline for an additional 2 years under pressure from many municipalities. So that gives us more time to find heritage listings and designate them. As well, the nominations for the 2024 Heritage Property Awards are now open and being accepted. The deadline is November 29th, 2024. For more information, you can check out the town's website and vote for someone that you think is appropriate. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything? I'll just mention a couple. The AMO board meeting, that's the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, executive team met, and most of the discussion surrounded the upcoming conference in August and delegation requests from different municipalities, which are due, I believe, this week. We've had an Empower board meeting. I'm not going to talk a lot about that because at our next regular meeting, we're going to have the AGMs for all 3 of our utilities come to us. The Deputy Mayor spoke about County Council and Police Services Board. We have 4 new recruits that are at the Ontario Police College this week. So we're looking forward to getting them on the road, and we're also still looking for experienced officers in our area. So look again, one more, seeing no other reports coming forward, we'll move then to our consent list. So we'll go through our consent list. If council is satisfied with the staff recommendation that is on the report, they may choose to just ask questions, or they may choose not to, at which point at the end of the meeting it will be confirmed. If members of council wish to have further debate or amend a recommendation, they'll pull it to committee of the whole where we can have fulsome debate. So we'll start with that list. A1, the special council meeting minutes dated May the 15th. A2, the special council meeting minutes dated May the 22nd. A3, the council meeting minutes dated May the 22nd. And then we had no reports for various committees. So C1, the Gateway MZO request. Could somebody pull that just for further, Deputy Mayor Fowler? Thank you. C2, the commercial water taking permit for 7306 10 Side Road. Councillor Ices.
I don't know if I need to pull it. I guess just as I read the motion, item 3, it says that the necessary planning applications be submitted to the town for consideration. Is it clear to the applicants what that entails? I guess we got a lot of information tonight, and I don't know if that's part of the necessary information, and I don't know if the applicants do as well.
Is there further discussion? Do we want to pull this one? I did have 1 or 2 questions on it as well. Okay, is that fair? We'll pull it then. C3, the user fee charges and bylaw. Nobody? So I guess what I would say to that is we're not passing anything tonight. We're considering this at the June 26th meeting for the bylaw, but if you have questions other than it, now is the time to bring these forward. Seeing none, I guess you got it right. C4, the Barrie Collingwood Railway servicing to Innisfil. Councillor Waters?
I'd just like to ask a simple question as opposed to pulling it. The question I have has to do with the drainage situation which we have in Innisfil Heights, and in terms of the issue that we discussed months ago. And one of the problems was related to the railway that was there, whether or not we could drain under it. Is there any way to build into this access and availability to the town to be able to resolve that issue?
Through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Waters. The drainage issues in terms of where the railway is located really are a separate matter from the railway specifically. We are looking as part of the 25-26 budget at a master drainage study throughout that area, and that's probably where it's more appropriate to then have specific discussions with the railway about those under crossings for drainage purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I had one, if I could. So there's a lot of legal wrangling right now between railways, more national railways, and municipalities where the railways are saying because they're federally regulated, they don't have to comply with local planning issues. And I wondered with this one, because it's owned by the city of Barrie, I'm assuming that wouldn't be this case?
Mayor Dolan, I'm not aware of any issues that have been raised. What I would say is, given it is municipally owned rather than federally owned, that wouldn't be the case, but there are certainly some municipal provisions that Barrie could use in terms of what uses are allowed or not allowed, but I'm not aware of anything.
Thank you for that. So C5, seeing no other questions on C4, C5, the DMZ Innisfil program delivery. I just want to say I was quite impressed with the report. There's a lot of positive outcomes in that, so thank you so much for that. C6, the 2024 non-core asset management plans. Councillor Waters.
I just want to say thanks very much for that report. It was very, very detailed, well done. And my main concern was a schedule, and the schedule was there in terms of when we're going to do this, and it's going to be financially responsible in terms of coming when budget time is around. So just want to say thank you very much for a well-written report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Waters. C7, the temporary fleet increase life extension to the CDSB building. There are no staff reports for information, there are no bylaws this evening, and there's no correspondence for action. Under correspondence for information, we had the Innisfil Public Library Board meeting minutes. The Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism proposed amendments to the Ontario Heritage Act. The World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which is June the 15th, and a proclamation for St. John's Ambulance Week, the week of June 24th to 30th. And that's all the items. So now the consent list recommendation, that the recommendations contained therein be adopted as council resolution. Oh, sorry. The consent list continued first, please. And so we've had the two items that are going to be pulled tonight. That was the gateway item and the water taking item. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Drodge, seconded by Councillor Richardson. All those in favor? That is carried. Now we have the consent list continued, and we go into committee of the whole. Moved by Deputy Mayor Fowler, seconded by Councillor Ices. All those in favor? That is carried. So the first one was the C1, which was the Gateway MZO request. Councillor Drodge is the seconder. Questions or comments on this item? Go ahead, Councillor Waters. Oh. Okay, so I'll start. So my question was in regards with the comments regarding the Ontario racing and that perhaps ending after the end of this year. And I just wondered if we could clarify how long Gateway has a lease with Great Canadian.
Thank you, Mayor Dolan. In the discussions and the information that Gateway's provided to us, they have a lease until the end of 2027, the start of 2028.
Thank you. So I understand the issue is that the Ontario Racing hasn't come to an agreement with the province of Ontario at this time, but for sure they'll be racing this year. The other thing that I have heard from members of the public that there would be an immediate close of the current casino and a couple of years with no casino until the new one is built. And so I just wanted to confirm that that is not the case.
So, Mayor Dolan, the understanding of the information we have is that there's a fairly significant process to construct this new casino, and then there's a transfer process to relocate from the current location to this location, but it's not staff's understanding that the current location is to cease operations at this time. It's allowing that runway for the construction on the new facility should it be approved.
And my final question has to do with one of the prerequisites from the province in order to receive the MZO, Minister's Zoning Order, and that is a description of consultation with the public and engagement with Indigenous communities, a description of consultation with the public. So when I read the Gateway proposal, there was talk of a public open house, but I wondered if there'd be any more significant consultation with the public other than an open house.
So at this point, Mayor Dolan, we haven't had further discussions with Gateway on what that consultation would look like. Some of that will be determined through the ministry in terms of what will be required for them to consider the application, because it is their submission to the ministry. But we are looking to have some further discussions in terms of understanding both the First Nations and also the public consultation. We noted what was identified in terms of the open house and noted that typically the site plan process wouldn't require that kind of further notice than that.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Councillor Drodge and Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Worship. The question's more around the Great Canadian Gaming property. That does fall in our Innisfil Heights master plan for industrial commercial growth, right? So unfortunately, if Gateway did relocate, those lands are open for restructure for industrial commercial.
So through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Drodge, the current facility is a site-specific Innisfil Beach Park zone, so it does allow a range of commercial uses on the property. It could be used for any of those uses without a change in zoning required.
Is that all, Councillor Drodge? Thank you. Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just in part of the report, I think it's page 6, there's a site plan approval 4.5. I went through the list of supporting documents that the proponent needs to submit, and 1 through 25. And I was curious, there is a number 19 natural heritage evaluation and number 20 natural hazard study, but I don't see any type of environmental impact assessment. And I remember when the proponents did make their presentation, they did say that they'd be following all environmental guidelines and reporting required. So I'm just kind of curious, is it just not part of this piece here, or is it covered under the natural heritage evaluation? Thank you.
Through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Waters. So the natural heritage valuation, natural hazards is very specific in terms of that part of it, but typically an environmental impact or a natural heritage, sometimes they're used a little bit more synonymously. So when they've explained the scope of what would be contained within the natural heritage valuation, those would be things like the species at risk that they'd identified would be covered through that study.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship. As I read this report, something comes to mind is that the last few times the MZOs have been brought to us, they've been hypothetical situations, they've been theorized, they haven't been proven. And to coin a phrase, if you'll pardon the expression, the casino has put its money where its mouth is so far. And they're looking to establish a location that is still within the boundaries of Innisfil. With the ARS fund that's been funded, I've seen numerous capital projects that have been funded by the income from the casino. And the fact that they want to expand, put a hotel, the restaurants, et cetera, to encompass more and create more of an income, more jobs within Innisfil, I can say honestly right now that this is something that we can take very seriously because they have a proven track record. And this is something that will benefit Innisfil overall.
Anyone else? Councillor Ices?
Thank you, Worship. Just a question regarding the MZO process. The conservation authorities, will they continue to have a say in the planning process?
Through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Ices. So there would be requirements in the site plan process that they would be involved in specific assessments or reviews, but their role is more clearly defined in terms of what the province has identified for them. It would be the province's decision on who they consult in terms of the MZO specifically. It's not something that's identified, but they do identify in the site plan that those studies would be brought forward.
Any other questions or comments? Just a comment from me. So I appreciate that, we've had a great working relation over many years with Great Canadian Gaming. And during the last bundle, Gateway Casinos was the winner of the bundle that we're in, which includes ourselves, Rama, and Wasaga Beach. And these are both very businesses that are capable of creating their own destinies and doing what they think is best for their companies. This process, this new MZO process, is brand new. It's not the MZO process we've used in the past for the Orbit or for the Tollendale or for the hospital. And in this case, what we're being asked for tonight is simply to support a request that will be put forward by Gateway. And, you know, it's always been Innisfil's MO to kind of get out of the way of business and let them do what they think is best for them and support them from behind. And I think by supporting this MZO, we would be doing that. Do we hope that that horse racing stays in our community? Of course we do. But each of the companies need to make the decisions that they think is best for their company and to move forward in the way that they wish to move forward. So for that reason, I'm going to be supporting this motion. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the recommendation? That is carried unanimously. Now we'll move to item C2, which is the commercial water taking. That was moved by Councillor Ices and seconded by Deputy Mayor Fowler. Any questions or comments, Councillor Ices?
Just for clarification, I think Councillor Drodge pulled this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's moved by Councillor Drodge and seconded by Deputy Mayor Fowler. Councillor Drodge, comments?
I did pull it with intention for you to speak to it, but like I said, I understand you have all your hydrological studies and everything in place, but what we're dealing with really is a bit of a zoning bylaw amendment that you're required to do to take that water from your operation. So I don't really have questions because I do think you give a very detailed study of your business plan and what you have there. I support the staff recommendation that you have to get the proper zoning and bylaw amendments in place. And I support this recommendation, but I'll leave it to you for any other questions.
Any questions or comments? Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I had a discussion with Director Lee this morning about this, and I'm just going to pose a question to her again that I questioned so everybody can hear my question is why are we not just writing the letter to the ministry?
Through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Saunders. So essentially what we've tried to summarize in the staff report is that there are official plan policies that require specific planning applications to zone the property to ensure that commercial water taking, whether it's for bottling or just the water taking itself of anything more than 50,000 liters a day, goes through a rezoning process. And so that's what those policies in section 15.6 of the official plan speak to. Many of the reports from Wilson, the previous reports from Brian Beattie, the information that's there addresses a number of those subsections of those policies and the information that would be required to be submitted as part of that planning application. But these policies in the town official plan, which is the guiding document, essentially say that 15.6.1 specifically, no permit or license for water taking shall be issued by the appropriate authority until an amendment to the official plan and zoning bylaw has been adopted by council and approved by the county. So essentially, those planning processes have to happen first before council can provide support for the ministry application for the water taking. We did speak in the report to the fact that these policies would have come into effect subsequent to their last permit to take water and would be a bit of a new process. And certainly the planning team is happy. We will look to set up a meeting with the Corbos to sort of explain what is required in addition to the information in that formal application process, should they want to proceed through that.
Thank you for raising that, Councillor Saunders. Councillor Waters.
Just as an extension to that, so there's no grandfathering opportunity here for this business.
Through you, Mayor Dolan, to Councillor Waters, essentially those policies are in effect for any requests that come in subsequent to those policies being established. And this would be a new request, as they've noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just add that the source water protection policies, which also govern this piece of property as a significant recharge area, didn't even come into effect until 2015, because that was when the plan was approved, 2015 or 2017. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the recommendation on the screen? That's unanimous. That's carried. Thank you. And that's all we pulled. So now we'll go to our rise recommendation, which is moved by Councillor Constantine and seconded by Councillor Ices. All those in favor? That is carried. And we're going to now consider the adoption of the recommendations from Committee of the Whole. And that is moved by Councillor Saunders and seconded by Councillor Zanella. All those in favor? Carried. Next, we'll go to announcements, please. And we'll go to Councillor from Ward 1. Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Worship. Tomorrow is a very exciting day. June 6th, the Farmers Market is opening for the 2024 season. June 8th, there's a Move to Give event. June 13th, Innisfil Pride flag raising. June the 14th, Flapjack Frenzy, Scouts Pancake Supper fundraiser at St. James Church between 5 and 8 o'clock. And then on June 15th, the Father's Day weekend, you can have a nice breakfast put on by the Stroud Volunteer Firefighters, 8 to 10 a.m. on the June 15th, Saturday. Thanks.
Thank you. Lots happening in Stroud. Ward 2, Councillor Constantine.
Tomorrow, June 6, Nantai Shore's history student will be walking from the school to arrive at the Legion for 12:45 to lay a wreath at the Legion. All Legion members are welcome. And also on Sunday, the 9th of June, there will be a bunch at the Taste of the Grill, and it's an all-white dress code, so everyone is invited to attend. You can get your ticket and Eventbrite and go and enjoy some good food and good music.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Richardson.
First of all, big congratulations to Miss Jenny's. They recently received a grant through a program through Desjardins. So they received a grant of $20,000 for the school. So it'll be great to see. I'm excited to see what they have in store. Tomorrow, they have at the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library is the After the Bell program for teens. It's a mental health program from 6 till 7 p.m. On June 15th, there is a music for charity event at Moon Cafe. It's $20 and they're raising money for the Innisfil Food Bank. And then just a quick little thing that Innisfil Graduates Group is up and running. So if you've got a graduate in your house, make sure that you join the Facebook group and be a part of a way to celebrate all those amazing graduates.
Thank you so much. Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Your Worship. On June 8th, there's a barbecue fundraiser at the Fork and Plate, and the funds are going to the Nantai Concert Band. That begins at 1 o'clock. Also on June 8th is South Simcoe Police Bike Rodeo at Alcona Glen. And then on June 14th, it's Bar Night at Lions Club.
Thank you. Councillor Zanella.
Thank you. Just a reminder, tomorrow night is Neighborhood Nights for Ward 5 at Leonard's Beach, and that starts at 5:30. And I look forward to meeting a lot of residents tomorrow.
Thank you. I think it was one of our busiest ones last year, so I look forward to a good crowd there. Councillor Saunders.
Thank you. Just to let everybody know, at Friday Harbor on Sunday, June 16th for Father's Day, there's programming on the promenade. There's something for everyone to enjoy, and they can join at the pier as well.
Thank you. Councillor Drodge.
Thank you, Worship. On June 10th, there's a free kids self-defense class at the Guildford Hall, and there's a little rumor on the street that the Gene and Joy Cafe down across the road from the Guildford Local Eatery is doing a soft opening starting Thursday to Monday from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. So maybe go check that out.
Thank you. How was the wingding, Councillor Drodge?
It was a lot of walking, but there was a great turnout. There was lots of people there.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Fowler.
Thank you, Worship. This past weekend up in Stroud, I attended my very first Holly event, and I came out looking like rainbow bright after it was said and done, but I had a blast, and I want to thank everyone who came together to make it a reality. Moving forward, on June 8th, the South Simcoe Storm U14A team will be holding a garage sale and bottle drive to raise funds. That'll be on Innisfil Heights Crescent during the 8th. On June 10th, at Alcona Glen, in the evening, there is a cultural fair that they're holding. They're inviting everybody to attend. It seems to be a week of it because on the 12th at Sunnybray, they're having their Sunnybray Fun Fair between 5 and 8. So that's another event to help go to the community. And last but not least, on the 21st to the 23rd, we have our Onion Fest coming up. So it's always good to come out and meet all your local neighbors and support some local businesses. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It occurred to me while everybody's talking about all these amazing events, all the hours and hours and hours of preparation that goes into all of these, and all of the wonderful community members we have that give us all these great events to go to. So I want to just, on that note, thank the Cookstown Chamber for the wingding, and Ashley and Jackie for the Innisfil biggest garage sale. They both worked so hard, and I know they raised a lot of money for the food bank as well. I attended on May 31st an announcement with MPP Minister Kanjan and Mayor Nuttall in the south end of the city of Barrie in regards to some new builds for Simcoe Public School Board. So one in South Barrie, one public elementary school in Innisfil, and a large addition to Nantar Shores Secondary School, which was very greatly needed. We've had some that were announced before that haven't started their construction yet, but I understand from Superintendent Dance that they're getting close, and that was the expansion at Clarny Beach and also the expansion at Lake Simcoe School. Today, members of council attended a yarn bombing awareness for Deafblind Ontario, which happened at Innisfil Beach Library. We also attended the expansion of Skydive Toronto, which is in Ward 7. They're now doing what they call moonshot jumps, so you have to get oxygen before you can jump out of the airplane. I don't know why people do it, but it was packed. There was so many people there. It was incredible. Tomorrow I'll be attending a D-Day remembrance at Barrie at the Cenotaph there for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And I want to thank council. We had a team building exercise where we went to the Hordinsky Community Kitchen and we all cooked up a storm and got to take that food and donate it to the Troy Scott Community Fridge. So that was absolutely wonderful. We had a presentation of another donation of an automated defibrillator at Stroud Presbyterian Church. We said goodbye to a longtime Father Greg at Cookstown and Churchill Anglican Church. And I just want to invite everybody to go to the Lakeshore Library on Saturday for the Sandy Cove Art Club show and sale. So with that said, I think that's all I've got for today. There's more, but I don't want the announcements to go longer than the council meeting, so I'll stop there and ask for any further announcements, anything for the corporation, Mr. Gershaw. Seeing none, can I ask then for the confirming bylaw and adjournment for this evening at 8:17 p.m. Councillor Richardson. and Councillor Waters. All those in favor? That is carried. A little bit of change to our schedule, so we'll be having planning public meetings here on June the 19th, but our next regular council meeting and our last one for the month of June and hopefully the month of July will be June the 26th, right here at 7 o'clock at Council Chambers. Thanks, everyone, and have a good evening.